I first want to address something that most of us feel when we hear money management, finances, and it is overwhelm. Sometimes it can feel so overwhelming that we don't know where to start and what to do. I'm going to break it down and make it easy and accessible for everyone. Hi, my name is Rebecca and I make videos here on personal finance, things like investing, managing your money. If these are topics you want to learn more about, please subscribe to my channel. It would help me out a lot and it's free. Okay, let's get started with money management. Why is that even a thing? Why do we have to manage our money? Well, the whole purpose of managing your money is to make sure that you have money for the things that are important to you. We live in a world where we need money for basically anything. It starts with having a place to live, eating, all these things cost money. We can't really escape money. So we might as well learn how to play the game well so we can use money to our advantage. We will get back to some money management basics in just a minute, but I first want to address something that most of us feel when we hear money management, finances, and it is overwhelm. So first of all, let me assure you, do not be afraid of making mistakes. The important thing is that you're doing something, you're starting to manage your money, and mistakes don't matter. You learn, and the more you learn, the better you get. And we all know we learn by mistakes as well. So you might as well make these mistakes now rather than making them in the future when you have a lot of money. The second thing I want to say regarding overwhelm is to just get started. It seems like there's just so much to learn in order to manage your money perfectly. And the result is we end up doing nothing at all. But forget about all that. Forget about becoming an expert. Just try to get better than you were yesterday. In the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, the author, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so we'll just skip that, wrote the following: I'd rather act and get it 85% right than do nothing. Think about it. 85% of the way is far better than 0%. And he's perfectly right, and I have nothing to add to that. The third thing regarding overwhelm is don't overcomplicate it. Make it simple. Find a system that works for you. Checking your bank accounts, checking how your savings are doing, how your investments are going, all of these things should be easy. They should be simple. And if they're not, you should do something about it. A few years ago, I was with a bank that I really hated because their online banking was just so complicated. I had also invested in some funds with that bank, so in their online banking I could go see my funds. But it was just so difficult to see their performance, read anything about the funds, understand anything of that page. It looked so confusing and so complicated that I hated looking into it. The result, I never really did. And it made me angry because I felt like I was not in control. It felt like I had no clue what was going on. So I ended up switching the bank to one that I like much better now. I have an overview and I feel like I am in control of my money. Banking should be easy. Looking at your investments should be easy. And there are so many banks and investment brokers out there that have great apps that are very intuitive. So just choose one that works for you. Choose one that looks simple to you and makes you want to check them. So if you don't like where you're at right now, just switch to a different bank or a different broker. You do not have to overcomplicate it. So these were some things I wanted to address when it comes to feeling overwhelmed with that topic. But now let's look at some basics when it comes to money management. What are some categories you should really know? So first of all, we have your regular monthly spendings. So that is all the money you spend in a month. It could be fixed monthly spendings like your rent, some other bills, subscriptions, or variable monthly spendings that change over time. It could also be divided into wants and needs. Needs typically are the place you live, having some food, and then wants are going shopping, going out with friends, all of these things. So we have your regular monthly spendings. Your monthly spending should always be below what you make, because the golden rule of personal finance is spend less money than what you make. The next big category you should always have on the back of your mind is retirement fund, your retirement money. You want to make sure you still have money even when you're no longer able to work. And I know there are typically some options with your government, your job, to help you save for retirement, but you should always be aware of how much money that would be in the future, whether you need to save some individually, and for most countries the answer is yes, you will need to make sure you personally also invest money to close that gap between the money you actually need and the money you have from your job or your government. And the earlier you start saving for your retirement, the better, because the earlier you start, the less money you need to invest, the more money you'll have in the end. It's called compound interest, which I explain in another video that I'll link up here. The next huge category you should be aware of is your emergency fund. You need to save some money for emergencies, and emergencies could be things like a job loss. What would you do if you lost your job tomorrow, if you had no more income? What would you do if your washing machine broke down? Could you actually replace that? Do you have money for that? What would you do if your house got flooded or if you had a big medical bill? There are some things, depending on your insurances, that are not covered by insurance, so you need to make sure that you have an emergency fund. And that is typically 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So what you spend in a month, that multiplied by 3 to 6, that should be your emergency fund. So just in case you don't have any more income, you can still live until you find another job. If one of these emergencies happens, you do not want to be dipping into the money of your retirement, and you don't want to go into debt. So that's why we need an emergency fund. If you don't have one yet, your goal could be to save up one monthly salary of your income for an emergency fund, and then keep going from there. Okay, and the last very important category is other savings. There are some long-term savings like having a house or the college education for your future kids, or maybe some short-term savings like your next vacation. For the sake of this video and keeping it simple, we'll just call it other savings. So you have your monthly spendings, your regular spendings, your retirement money, your emergency fund, and your other savings. Those are 4 very important categories to think about when it comes to deciding how to spend your money, how to divide your paycheck, all of these things. So this was just a little introduction to money management and some important concepts. For the upcoming videos that I have planned, I will go more into detail on many of these topics I just mentioned, and we will learn more about money management. If you have any specific topics or questions you want me to address, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to include them in a video. I hope you liked this video and I hope you learned something. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will link my investing playlist right here in another video you might want to watch, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!